I'm Jack Callahan here with the Just Ballin podcast, where the only thing that stays the same about this podcast is me, Jack Callahan. Today's guest is DC. DC, what up?
What's up?
So let's get right into it. The Luka Doncic story is the story of the year for me so far. He's been playing lights out, MVP worthy. How do you feel about him?
I feel like you should have seen this from the start. Like no one should be surprised.
Yeah.
The guy started this career before he even made it to the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is there to, and he's a very likable dude. Like he hasn't done anything.
I know.
He hasn't done anything that has offended anyone. He's kept his composure. He's been professional, and like you said, his stats are too high.
30 points a game, almost 10 rebounds, 9 assists. That's stats that LeBron didn't even put up in his second year. So, I mean,
literally, I was watching something about that the other day where they were talking about how Luka's start was better than LeBron's.
probably.
And
yeah.
I have to say I agree.
Probably.
Because how do you disagree when you see a guy on a franchise that people respect, because people respect Dallas. They know what the Mavs are about.
Yeah.
Dirk put them on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're passing the torch with Luka. And then right next to him, you got Porzingis.
Yeah.
So at really, it's like it's his time.
Yeah, they're third.
that.
They're third in the West right
Third.
now. And the West is kind of stacked. It's always been stacked, but this year, like, it's stacked. 16-7. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're only 4.5 games behind the Lakers. It's pretty wild.
I feel like once you heard he was the rookie of the year last year, you should have known. From here on out, this guy is going to be one of the greatest, because I think he is. I think he has yet to improve.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. It's possible a year is going to come by where he gets that title,
Yeah.
and he proves everyone wrong. Because I know
Imagine.
that there's some people that still hate. But that's okay, because you enter the league with pressure.
Yeah.
He entered the Mavs with pressure.
Yeah.
But he proved people wrong, and he's delivering.
Yeah.
He's delivering.
I mean, I always kind of thought that it would be like someone like Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid or Giannis or somebody like that to kind of like take over after LeBron's gone. But right now, it looks like it's going to be Giannis.
And it's disappointing now that
Or
you mentioned
Luka, not Giannis.
It's disappointing when you mention names like Simmons and Embiid.
Yeah.
Because you look at those guys and it's like, they're so good, but they come out to play sometimes trash.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Why do you do that?
And
Why do you
Luka's
do that?
so consistent.
In a city that also is heavily known for basketball. It's
Right.
Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a basketball city. You have Embiid, you have Simmons, and Luka's just out here taking their spot practically.
Yeah.
And he has a right to. He has a right to.
And he's by his lonesome because Kristaps Porzingis isn't playing very well right now.
Let me ask, who else have you heard? Have you heard anyone say or compare anyone else to LeBron the way that they have been comparing Luka?
I mean, play style, I would say Ben Simmons, but I mean, play style and statistically, it's just Luka, in my opinion.
It's Luka. It's really Luka. Like Simmons now, literally the hype on Simmons now is just his 3-point shot.
Yeah, it's
because he's making them.
Yeah,
But that's not even close to being equivalent to what Luka's been doing every game.
right. And Luka, if anything, he's had more of a 3-point shot than LeBron ever had in his first 10 years in the league. He just started shooting well from three. So, I mean, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to think what he can do.
It is dangerous. It is dangerous. And I like how it looks like, I mean, you never know because the future could obviously determine something else, but it looks like he's locked on that city.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go.
Yeah, he
which
really
means
likes Dallas.
He's going to have a fan base behind him that could motivate him to bring a chip.
Yeah.
And he's going to do what he can possibly, whether he has Porzingis or not.
Yeah.
He's going to play well, and he's going to stay that way.
Yeah,
I know
and
that for sure.
I think people could make the point that, you know, the Mavs could be one all-star superstar away, but like I think Luka is that superstar. I don't think you need another superstar. I think Luka is all you need. Like all he has to do is get a little bit older, and he'll get better with age. You know, he's only 20 years old, so he could only get better from here.
Yeah, I sometimes think about why does a team need a duo? Why? If you look at Houston the past couple of years, seen the problem with Harden and Paul.
Yeah.
But it's like, not trying to discredit Paul, but you didn't need him. Harden didn't need him.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Harden would have won a chip without him.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you look at a guy like Luka, yeah, he can have a Porzingis and all that.
Yeah.
And maybe a Dirk when he played.
Right.
But he doesn't need them.
Yeah.
He doesn't at all. So it's like, you can underestimate the kid.
Right.
But he's not a kid.
Right.
He's a man playing in the leagues, and he's proving that he has what it takes to go against LeBron and beat LeBron, because he has.
Yeah.
He's proven it. In his house.
Yeah, right.
At LeBron's house.
Right.
He's proven it. Yeah. He's like, you guys are underestimating me, but I just dethroned your king.
Right.
So it's like.
And I mean, Luka's he's probably one of those players, just kind of like LeBron, where, yeah, LeBron needed that second star, but at the same time, as long as you just put a decent team around him, a good supporting cast, you know, because he had that in Cleveland in his early years. You know, like the team obviously wasn't the best, but like, you know, kind of later on, yes,
he carried,
yeah.
for sure.
And in his last few years with the Cavs, I think that he had a pretty good supporting cast. I think his last couple of years with Cleveland, I think the first year that Kyrie was with the Celtics. And it was just him and Kevin Love.
That was a story.
Yeah. I mean, people say that he carried, which, I mean, yeah, the team wasn't the best, but, like, he had a good starting five with him still. So, like, I feel like Luka's in that spot where, you know, you don't really need a duo with him.
But here's where I wanted to show out the difference, though, now that you're talking about teams. When LeBron was with the Cavs, he had Kyrie.
Yeah.
What did Kyrie not want? He didn't want to be in LeBron's shadow.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Bad chemistry. What did that lead to? Kyrie going to Boston.
Right.
Luka, on the other hand, he doesn't have bad chemistry.
Right.
He has a guy and more guys that are like, hey, you are our top star.
Right.
You were the kid that came last year, and you're the leader now.
Yeah.
So
this is your team kind of thing. Yeah.
Basically, it's like, and Dirk passed the torch. It was Dirk. It was really him. He passed the torch. It's like, listen, I'm gone.
Yeah.
You're taking my spot. With LeBron, on the other hand, it's like, yeah, he had the players. But if it wasn't one guy not trying to be in the shadow, it was another guy like J.R. Smith that didn't know what to do. And that led to LeBron's fails. And it's like, Luka doesn't have that. So I don't want to say Luka doesn't have an excuse, because he can win.
Yeah.
He can win. But, you know, just the comparisons. They're two completely
different. Yeah.
Different. So similar, yet so different.
Yeah.
Because one kind of had a downfall, which led him to going to LA in the form of LeBron. And then one is just like, once I started, from the moment I got here, I've been proving to you I don't need to go anywhere.
Right.
I could, whether I have Porzingis or not.
Yeah. LeBron.
I'm going to play.
LeBron was like the chosen one for, like, you know, the world of basketball.
Exactly.
But, like, Luka came in and he was the chosen one for, like, the European part of the NBA.
Exactly.
Because you look at the league now and it's so many European players. And that's a great thing because a lot of them are good.
They are.
Giannis, Luka, Pascal Siakam, and plenty more. But, like, Luka was that guy. So, I mean, it is pretty crazy the similarities between the two, like, storyline-wise.
Yeah, and as you just mentioned, LeBron was chosen as the one. But if you really think about it, so many were chosen as a one. Like, when they got in, and it's like they didn't get the job done.
Right.
Or at least they didn't the time they were supposed to.
Right.
So it's like Luka is doing the complete opposite. Maybe there were people that were like, oh, he's just a player.
Yeah.
But he's a player that took down one of the greatest. Because I personally don't think LeBron is the greatest.
Thank you. Glad we're on the same page.
I don't think he's the greatest. And for those that want to disagree, I respect your opinion.
Yep.
But if we're going to be real here, there's so much to put in when it comes to talking about the greatest
Right.
that you can't pick one guy. So we're not going to just sit here and say LeBron is the greatest. He's one for sure, one of the greatest, possibly top 5, top 3, who knows?
Yeah.
But you can't say Luka's not in that conversation. You know, of course, he has yet to prove he can be greater, but so far, he's done what other rookies couldn't.
Right.
And that's a fact.
To put up the stats, we talked about the stats already, but like, just to be 20 years old and to put up like, he just passed Michael Jordan in the stat of 20 points per game, 5+ rebounds, 5+ assists in like 19 straight games. Nobody's ever done that since Mike. So, you know, it's pretty wild to think a 20-year-old can do something like that. And to put up numbers that Russell Westbrook put up in his MVP year as, what, a 28-year-old, 29-year-old? And again, he's doing it at 20 years of age. It's just insane.
It's all about the flow, and Luka has it.
Right.
Luka has it. And I think half of it I credit him, the other half I just credit the team. I feel like Luka, if he were to be on another team, he'd either be under the shadow of someone else, or he'd had too much pressure.
Yeah.
Dallas has given him his liberty
Right.
to be how he wants to be, and it's like, if not that, then how?
Yeah, I do hope they stay in the playoff conversation. Like, I hope that they stay as a top 5 team because I want to see what Luka can do in the playoffs. I think that'd be exciting, especially if he were to go up against LeBron or if he were to go up against the Rockets maybe or something like that.
I want to see that Luka magic moment in the playoffs because I feel like he's waiting. He is waiting for it. He's waiting to get there and be like, okay, going to the conference finals, and then we're gonna go to the NBA finals, and then he's gonna explode.
Right.
It's possible he can have a Harden game, a 60-point.
Yeah.
It's possible he can, and I know he can. You just got to give him the motivation, give him the space.
Yeah.
And he's gonna light the spark.
Yeah. So let's go from a playoff team to a team that had high hopes but is no longer looking like a playoff team, and that is the Utah Jazz. A lot of people going into this season were saying that the Jazz could be title contenders, let alone playoff contenders. The pickup of Mike Conley, little pieces like Bojan Bogdanovic and the backcourt of Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell. They picked up, again, small pieces like Jeff Green or Emmanuel Mudiay, stuff like that. But
You just finished saying the two names that Utah was excited about. Mitchell, Conley.
Right.
When I heard that Conley I was like, okay, if Utah made it to the playoffs last year and Donovan was going off then, I can't imagine how hard they're going to go now.
Exactly.
And we finally get to the season. What's going on?
I don't know. And
what is happening?
It's crazy because the one thing that team needed was a star point guard. If you think about it, last year they had their star big man. They had the defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert. They had one of the best young players in the league in Donovan Mitchell. Right. And they have Joe Ingles, who's a good sharpshooter.
He is.
But they had Ricky Rubio at that point guard spot, and I think that was the biggest hole of that team. And so now, going into the offseason, they trade for Mike Conley, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they signed him to a contract. I think that they traded for him. I might be wrong. But, I mean, to get that star point guard, you would expect, as everybody did, that they're going to be title contenders now. But, I'll look up their record, but I mean...
And the thing is, I mean, you look at Conley. His years in Memphis, you knew. At least I personally felt, whenever I would see him play for the Grizzlies, I was like, this isn't your team.
Right.
This isn't where you're supposed to be. Literally, you can go anywhere else but here because I feel like this is just not where you're going to explode. And so I hear the news come, Utah wants him, and they got him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just left Memphis to join Mitchell.
Right.
Who is amazing. Mitchell is great.
He's so good.
He is so good. You get there, and I don't want to say he's underperforming. I don't want. Well, he is, but I don't want to say he's at his all-time low because he's probably he could. I feel like he can play worse.
Yeah.
But I feel like he at the same time he's still giving a try.
Yeah.
Because it's a new environment.
Let's take this, right? Last year, Memphis played 70 games, 21 points per game, 44% from the field, 6.5 assists on 33.5 minutes played. This year, he's playing 30 minutes, so 3 minutes less. I don't know how big of a deal that is, but 14 points, 4 assists, shooting 37% from the field.
Well, you gotta think he's not like I said. He still has the flow in his arms,
right,
to play,
and that it doesn't like. I'm not trying to say that he has to be a 20 point per game scorer just like last year because you have Donovan Mitchell now, so
you have Gobert.
So Connolly can be more of the facilitator of the team.
Exactly.
But I mean, 14 points a game.
I think the reason why he's not going all out, which I personally don't know why, if this is the reason, I don't know why he's sticking to that reason. I think it's because he doesn't, probably since Utah already sees Mitchell as the leader.
Yeah. Do you think he's taking a step back a little bit?
I think he's like, well, I'm more of a veteran, so I'm going to kind of let the kid continue doing what he's doing, which I respect him for that.
Yeah.
But if you're the veteran, your job is to play, to show why you're the veteran, why you were good, why you. I don't know if he I don't remember if he genuinely wanted to leave Memphis, but I'm sure there was a part of him where it's like, I kind of want to go to a team that has players that
for sure,
can play with me. And now that you're on that team, you're gonna step down. And I'm not saying he's an elite point. There was a point where I think he was, where you could talk to him about him being an elite point guard.
Right.
I don't think he's there anymore. I'm not saying he can't go back to being one, but he's not there anymore.
Yeah,
but he's for sure a good one.
I think age plays a factor into it, right? With him not being elite anymore. But
exactly.
I mean, you still have a good supporting cast, and you again, like you said, you don't have to be the one to take over every night, but you still gotta play. You know, you hit it on the, you hit the nail on the head with that. Like just because you're the budding star, right, doesn't mean that you can take nights off or you can have a bad night and be okay with it, right? You got to get back in that gym and you got to really show why we traded for you for a reason. You're an all-star point guard. You got to show that.
That's the point right there.
So
that's the point right there. It's like if we were to put any other team for an example. Let's say Westbrook was Giannis's point guard. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me Westbrook is going to lower his standards, drop down his game?
Right.
Which it has been rocky the past couple.
The Rockets,
season has been a little rocky. Him being a point guard, just focus on stats and this and that. But you're going to tell me Westbrook is going to lower his game to let Giannis continue? No.
No.
You know how Westbrook is.
Yeah.
He has an ego to him where it's like, I want to be the guy.
Yeah.
Conley, I'm not saying Conley should be
egotistical.
Exactly. He shouldn't be that, but he should definitely have some type of pride left in him where he's like, I was a really good point guard and I still am.
Right.
So let me show these people why I'm here.
Yeah. And so I looked up their record. It's not as bad as I thought. They're sixth seed in the West. They're 13-11 though. So I mean,
it can get lower.
It can be worse.
It can be worse.
But it could also be better.
Well, we're hoping for the better.
With where people had them coming into the season, it could be a whole lot better. Because instead of them being a top 3 team in the West, they're bottom 8. Or bottom 8 in the top 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's honestly, I didn't expect them to be that high in the first place, but I expected them to at least have tiebreakers with a third spot, with at least a fourth, at least go past whatever team is there, and then if they get lower, fight harder the next game to take back that spot. But no, it's not, and I don't blame Conley. I don't blame him because it's also a new environment, new players.
Yeah, and then it happens with everybody.
Way different style because he has never played with a guy like this.
Right, and it was grit and grind with Memphis, and I think that Utah coach Quinn Snyder has a different kind of system. I don't think he's more. I don't think he's grit and grind. I think he's more sort of like a, I don't know, pace and space. Somebody like that.
He likes the smooth at first, hard at the end.
Right.
Well, that's when he brings
Right.
Mitchell.
Play tough.
He'll start with Conley with the smooth, which he shouldn't.
Right.
Because Conley should be aggressive.
Yeah.
But he starts with the smooth, ends with the tough.
Yeah.
With Mitchell, which is a good strategy, but it's for that to work. You all have to be in unity, and
Yeah.
you all have to be like you have to agree.
Right.
And Conley should be like, no, let me be aggressive too.
I think out of all the duos that were created this season, I wouldn't say that they are the worst, and that's putting it lightly, that they're the worst, because there's really no bad duo, but they're definitely not the best, and they're definitely not near the best in the league. But, I mean, you look at Philly's big, not really big three, but you see their dynamic duo, and Ben Simmons is having a rough season so far, or at least a quiet one. Joel Embiid's Joel Embiid, though.
More of a quiet,
but Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid still, so, you can't really say that that's a bad duo.
No change in him.
Yeah. But,
with the addition of Al.
Right.
Which you got all big guys. That's literally Philly is a defensive team.
I know.
It's not even offense. It's straight up defense. And
Yeah.
defense, I have the opinion that defense wins championships.
Yeah.
Not offense. Obviously, you need the offense, but if you can't stop the other team, then you're stopping yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what they're all about.
Yeah.
And Utah, they're not stopping anybody. They're stopping themselves from being. The duo is stopping itself from being a great duo because they can be really good. And then the team in itself, I don't know if it's the coach.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the player. I don't know who is really in play here. But the team itself, it's stopping itself from being a good team.
Yeah.
And, yeah, basically.
All right. Well, to round off the podcast, we'll talk about so far how the 2019 NBA draft class is doing. Of course, the big topic is Zion. We'll get into that a little later. We're both disappointed. I think every NBA fan is disappointed, but
No, actually, I'm not.
no.
No.
We'll
talk
get
about that.
we'll get
We'll
into
talk
the
about that
reasoning, but I think the best rookie by far in the draft class is Ja Morant. He's been playing the best. He's probably on the best team out of every rookie. I mean, the Grizzlies aren't that bad.
For a player like him, yes.
Right.
For a player like him, yes.
And I think he's far and away Rookie of the Year. I think a lot of people can argue with Kendrick Nunn, who wasn't a part of this draft class. I kind of made that mistake before where I thought he was drafted this year, but he's just a rookie because he was in the G League last year. But anyways, I think he's far and away Rookie of the Year. And I don't think there's a close second. And I think if you were to have a ranking of Rookie of the Year, I think it'd go Ja Morant, R.J. Barrett, and then I don't even know, DeAndre Hunter maybe. I don't
want to put RJ number 2.
You don't? You don't think he's playing that well? I mean, his team's bad, but it's not him.
I mean, I know it's not him. It's not him, but who did they pick to be the leader of the Knicks? RJ.
Yeah.
Why isn't he leading? Because he's not.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason as to why the Knicks
Are bad.
are so trash. Yes, I don't want to
put
be
it-
harsh,
yeah.
but it's true. I don't know if there are any Knicks fans out there. You got to accept reality. You didn't get KD. You didn't get Kyrie.
Yep.
You didn't get Zion.
Yep.
Which maybe, and even if you did, look at where he's at now.
Right.
I don't want to put RJ number 2. Definitely agree.
Ja Morant. Yeah.
is number 1, and the team suits him. It
Yeah.
suits him. He was the right guy to replace Conley.
Yeah.
The right guy. But no, everyone. No, because we have in Miami, we got Hero.
Oh, Tyler Hero. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
Miami,
one.
we got a guy like Tyler Hero,
Yeah.
who is perfect for that team.
Right.
I think it's perfect. Him, Butler, perfect for that team.
I think Jimmy Butler, and we talked about this last podcast. Go check that out if you haven't already. Shameless plug there. But he has just the perfect team built around it. But that's, again, a topic for another day. So now let's get into the big story of the draft. I think there's plenty of disappointments to point out. Cam Reddish is one for sure. He hasn't played up to his standards at all.
Wasn't he the one that everyone voted to be
Best rookie.
Right?
Yep.
What happened there?
I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe just, I don't know if instead of a sophomore slump, he has a rookie slump.
When I looked
but
at that, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Not saying that he's bad.
Right.
But I'm just looking at him like, why?
Yeah, you've got a couple other rookies that are better than him.
Way better than him.
Right.
And it's like you picked him.
Right, and there's plenty of more disappointments, but the biggest disappointment, to everybody's surprise, was Zion Williamson.
I'm not disappointed. I want to make that perfectly clear right
Okay,
now.
go ahead and speak your mind.
I am not disappointed because I saw this happening.
Okay. Like the injuries, or?
Just everything that's been unfolding in general.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so he had his whole Duke situation.
Right.
And then you bring him here. They hype him up, and in the rankings, they put him at 50 when he didn't even, this was before the season.
Right,
when
didn't
he
even play a game.
He didn't even play a game. I looked, and I'm like, they're putting him as the next LeBron. They're putting him as the next Shaq, which they're saying this year, his rookie year, should have been equivalent year to Shaq's.
Right.
And it's possible. But the moment that I saw the hype, when it was getting too much hype, I was like, you guys are hyping a guy that's going to go down. And he went down.
Yeah.
And where's the Pelican fans now? Where's the Zion fans now?
Yeah.
You guys were, and the same thing goes with the people around his team. Everyone was hyping up Lonzo because he finally got to play with a guy that he can throw dimes to and be able to play. And
right.
Where's the Lonzo fans now? It's like Zion's injury kind of affected everyone else.
Right.
Because it's like...
Except for Brandon Ingram. But.
Yeah, except for him because, hands down, most improved player.
Right.
But I'm not disappointed because it's like I'm never a fan of someone that gets too hyped because that's the first person to go down on something.
Yeah.
And look what happened. But you?
I'm 100% disappointed. I saw what he did in the preseason. I saw what he did in the summer league. I was so ready to see him opening night against the Raptors, the defending champs, who, people thought that wasn't a good season opener, right? But I mean, look at the Raptors now.
It really could have been.
It could have been a good season opener. And it's rough because, what if he comes back and because of his knee injury, what if he's not good? Then people are going to just...
That's exactly why I'm not disappointed, though, because when someone gets hurt, the chances of a player coming back 5 times better than how he was, are slim.
Right.
You've seen it with guys like Derrick
Rose, yep. Right.
You've seen players trying to come back with that one last gasp, even through injury, like Clay,
right,
like KD. You see things aren't, and who knows? We have yet to see if those guys are going to come back better,
right,
or the same or worse. But I look at Zion, and one of the major problems is the guy's build. He needs to get fit.
Yeah.
He needs to. He doesn't. It's not that it's a choice.
I think a lot of people made that a huge deal, but I don't know.
If you're not fit though, and you're a guy that big, and you are hyped up to be the leader of a team,
right,
you kind of have to get your body in shape.
And his weight doesn't help his knee injury anymore. Yeah. But still, I mean, that's just what made him so dominant. But, I mean, of course he has to lose a couple. 285 is not, and he could be even more since he's been sitting around on his butt. But, I mean, still, nonetheless, he's got to lose some weight. And I hope that when he comes back, which people are saying should be around 2020, so I don't know if that means next season or if that just means past January. But, let's just hope he gets better. And I hope that he
mean,
comes
yeah.
out guns blazing.
Yeah, he's. I'm not saying he's bad or anything, because we all know how good he is.
Right.
He is really good.
Yeah.
But we have to state the facts. He needs to take care of himself.
Yep.
He needs to get healthy. He needs to fix his build. He needs to know that Duke is different from the NBA.
Right.
You're going to be in a whole lot of bunch of pressure here. You got a whole lot. In Duke, you're carrying college. Here, you're carrying a whole arena.
Yeah.
For a city.
Right.
That's global. So you gotta, and especially when you were giving, because they gave him. I would like to say the coach gave him the privilege to be a leader.
Yeah.
So if you have that title on you, you have to play.
All right. And with that being said, that wraps up the second ever episode of the Just Ballin podcast with your host, Jack Callahan, where the only thing that stays the same about the podcast is me, Jack Callahan. We'll see you with a new guest next week, and maybe even a video podcast instead of an audio one. That's been all for the Just Ballin podcast. I'm Jack Callahan.
Joined by DC right here.
And we'll see you next week.